deadly for Lee. Ewell's men were driven back from Culp's Hill. Jeb Stuart was supposed to get behind the Federals and attack them from the rear. But Union cavalry stopped and held him, thanks in part to a series of reckless charges led by 23-year-old General George Armstrong Custer. Everything now depended on Longstreet's attack on the Union center on Cemetery Ridge. Meade saw it coming and was ready for him. The man Lee chose to lead the assault was dashing, perfumed General George E. Pickett, who had never before taken his division into combat.
It was an incredible mistake, and there's scarcely a trained soldier who didn't know it was a mistake at the time it was done, except possibly Pickett himself, who was very happy at a chance for glory. But every man who looked out over that field, whether it's a sergeant or a lieutenant general, saw that it was a desperate endeavor, and I'm sure knew that it should not have been made.
Pickett's men filed into the woods west of the Emmetsburg Road and waited in the stifling heat. To relieve the tension, some of the men pelted each other with green apples.
They knew what they were going to do, but they had to wait. And while they were waiting, formed and ready to move out, they were in defilade among brush and things. And a rabbit jumped out of the bushes and took off rearward. And one of the soldiers looked after him and hollered, "Run, old Hare. If I was old Hare, I'd run too." Sure, it wasn't all valor.
Exactly at 1 o'clock, a giant artillery barrage intended to soften up the Union defenses before the attack began with a deafening explosion. Meade had just left his commanders finishing their lunch. As an orderly served them butter, a shell tore the man in two.
The storm broke upon us so suddenly that numbers of soldiers and officers who leaped from their tents or lazy siestas on the grass were stricken in their rising with mortal wounds and died, some with cigars clamped between their teeth, some with pieces of food in their fingers.
The flying iron and pieces of stone struck